One thing that you have to know about me is that I do not have a fear of heights. I don't have a fear of heights at all, and I don't get what it's like to have a fear of heights. Katie has a fear of heights. My dad has a fear of heights. Several of my coworkers have a fear of heights. I don't. And in fact, I would go skydiving every weekend if I could, and I choose not to because it would scare Katie half to death, and if you get scared half to death twice, you're dead, right? It would scare her half to death, so I don't do it. One of the reasons I don't have a motorcycle is because I don't trust myself on a motorcycle. I so I don't have a fear of heights. One time in Ireland, when I was visiting there in my 20s with a bunch of other college students. There's cliffs on the left side. It is the left side, the west side of Ireland, called the Cliffs of Moher. And if you ever visit Ireland, you have to go there. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a straight drop off the edge of the cliff. I think it's maybe 200 feet, 300 feet, just down straight to the Atlantic Ocean. And I thought it'd be cool if I laid on my back and had part of my back extending over the cliff, just straight over the ocean. And so I laid on the ground with my feet like this, and a college friend of mine named Carl, he weighed a good 200 pounds, sat on my feet, right? And I was 150 at the time. And so I stretched my back out and had most of my back extending over the ocean. It was fantastic. I loved it. I put a picture of it here so you can experience life through my lens of life and what's exciting to me. So I don't have a fear of heights. Katie does have a fear of heights. I don't get what it's like to have a fear of heights, and I don't need to love her in her fear of heights. You know, all my experiences in life have given me, let's say, a red lens of life that I experience life through. And it's not just physically how I see life, but it's a red lens of how I experience life. All of Katie's experiences in life have given her a green lens to look at life through. And we cannot exchange glasses. She cannot give me her lens of life to look through. I cannot give her my lens of life to look through, but we can share what life is like through our lens of life. And I'll give you a specific story about how my fear of height, my not fear of heights, and her fear of heights, the lenses through which we experience life, kind of collided on a Ferris wheel in Atlanta a couple months ago, and I didn't do a very good job of listening to her and her lens of life. So it was already a windy night, and I look at this Ferris wheel in Atlanta, and it's not, to me, it's not super big. To Katie, it's a super big Ferris wheel. I think every Ferris wheel to her is super big. And so we get on it. It's already a windy night. It's already the little carriages. There's room for four people. Maybe it's just the two of us in this enclosed carriage. It's already maybe just shaking a little bit because of the wind. And honestly, my first thought when I get into the thing is, I wonder if I were to try. I wonder how far I could get this thing to swing up in the air. To me, that's a really cool idea. Those are the things that excite me and get my blood pumping. And to Katie, she's sitting there grabbing onto whatever she can, right? And I see her doing that. I don't get that. Here's my first thought when I see her grabbing onto something. Nothing about that is going to keep this thing from falling if it's falling. If it's going to fall, it's going to fall. And grabbing onto the chair is not going to change anything. And I don't mean that in a mean or nasty way. That's my way of thinking. It's not going to change anything. You might as well just enjoy how much this thing is swinging in the air. And so I know it'd not make her very happy if I actually tried to swing the thing. I understand that about her green lens of life. And so I I didn't try and swing the thing. But every time that I wanted to look from it out a different window of it, I would get up and I'd walk around the thing. And to her, she knows I don't have a fear of heights. She already knows, as I said out loud, I wonder how far this thing could swing. And so every time I get up, she's grabbing on going, oh my word, what's he going to do? Is he going to swing it? It's already windy outside, and she's very, very nervous, and she's asking me to slow down, and I'm getting frustrated because I just want to walk around this thing, and it's not going to fall. It's not going to fall. If it's going to fall, it's going to fall, and me walking around is not going to change it. This is my red lens of life. And I did not do a very good job of listening to her, that when I walked around without telling her what I was doing, walking around this little carriage in the air. I didn't do a good job listening to her. That was scary to her. I didn't really have any interest, honestly, of knowing that that was scary to her, even though she was telling me. I don't need to get it. I don't need to understand why that's scary or how that's scary. If I want to love her and I want to move forward in a relationship with her and love her and know her better and continue creating experiences that we can spend 50 more years together and enjoy every minute of it, I've got to listen to her green lens of life, even though I don't get it. One of the biggest misconceptions I think about any kind of relationship, whether it's a business relationship, marriage, team sports, whatever it is that we should be able to understand each other. We can't fully understand each other. I don't understand the fear of heights. I don't. I understand it through someone else's eyes. But remember, my red lens of life is a first lens through which I always see things. I can't see Katie's green lens of life. I can listen to her and I can put into my life experiences what it must be like to have a green lens of life, but I first see through my red lens of life. And I did not do a good job that night taking what I know about her and listening to her and putting that into my way of living. And we were talking about it afterwards. And what I realized was, because I wasn't listening on the Ferris wheel, was that every time that I got up and walked around, if I had simply said, hey, I'm going to get up from this side, I'm going to walk to the other side, that would have alleviated so much of her fears about what I was doing. Now, do I get that? I get it from her perspective. I don't get it from my perspective, and I don't need to. Now, let me tell you how well she loves me. The only reason she went on that Ferris wheel was because she knew that I would enjoy it. That's how well she understands my red lens of life. Even though she has a green lens of life, she has taken my red lens of life that I love things like that, and she's willing to go do them even though it scares her to death. We went on a zip line one time. Oh, I thought it was amazing. I had so much fun. And I remember one time it was like, 7-stage zip line. And I had gone across one of the stages first, and she was coming in, and she was just crying as she came in. And I thought she got hurt, because that's the only reason that I would cry on a zip line, because I got hurt. She was crying because it was so fearful to her. Why did she want to do that zip line? Because she loves me that much. That's amazing. That is an incredible story of not understanding what it's like to love ziplining and choosing to do it anyway because she realizes my red lens of life loves things like that. So the biggest misconception is that we need to understand each other. We don't need to understand each other. We need to listen and we need to trust each other. If I want to love Katie well, which I do, if I want to love Katie well, my goal is not to get everything about her. My goal is not to understand everything about her. My goal is to listen to her, to trust her, and to do my very best to take what she tells me about her experiences of life and the way she sees things and to put them through my red lens and say, this is not what I would always choose to do, but I'm doing it because this is what she says her green lens of life is like. It takes work. It takes work to make a relationship that works. Relationships that work take work. I'm still learning. Katie's a pro. I'm still learning. I don't have to get it. I don't have to get what it's like to have a fear of heights. I don't think I'm ever going to get what it's like to have a fear of heights. And I can still take caution and care and concern. Oops, my phone cut off right there at the end. I don't need to know what it's like to have the fear of heights, to take care, caution, concern in a Ferris wheel, because when I go on a Ferris wheel with Katie next time, it's always going to be scary up there to her. I don't need to get it. I just need to listen and trust her that that's what it's like. And if I zoom out much further, there's a much bigger scope that I'm on a mission to be a voice and not an echo. I'm leading a movement to elevate people to live a life where they hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant, when they get to heaven. And on that movement, on that mission, I want to go with people. I'm going with people. And in order for this mission to move forward, I'm going to be with people who have green lenses and blue lenses and orange lenses and yellow lenses of life. And I'm not going to get everybody. I'm not going to understand everybody. And not everybody's going to understand me. And that's okay. That's actually the point. We can build on each other's strengths and we can fill in the gaps in each other's weaknesses because we have different experiences in life. I'm on a mission and I don't need to understand everybody who's on the mission with me. But I need to love, trust, and build camaraderie in this mission together. That's what I'm doing.